This is a precursor and my final segment of the day, depending on which time you're seeing this. It could be the first thing you wake up to. Very small, very quick, chop it up with you. I don't hear you. Every conversation that you have probably embarked on in the last year, and I mean every conversation, from the FD signifier conversations to the Lil Bill conversations to the damn H Bomber guy conversations, all of them follow a specific thread. Now, I don't know if this thread exists just purely because I grew up in a multicultural background where like I was exposed to different people in different languages, customs, lifestyles. What I don't fathom is real people taking the blood of the internet persona and injecting it into real life. It doesn't work out here. It's like I think about Brianna Wu. And while anybody can chart this and say this is the most craziest thing, the weirdest turn they've ever seen, da 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 this, da 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 that, you can have as much fun with it as you want. And you're allowed to have as much fun with it as you want. But what stuns me is that while we're having all the fun with it, I can't physically pinpoint where in this conversation you from anywhere other than how much you as a famous person, as a political commentator. I feel as though every conversation follows this single thread. And this thread is, I don't care about your being as a person right now. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about where you've been. I don't care about what you've done. The only thing I care about is getting you to say or respond to or do as many things as possible. So that way, I can now show you off to a now bigger audience as, look at that guy. Keep going to that guy and farming material for me so I can expose him. I've said this many a time, and I don't think it goes without repeating every single time. There is no guide to how much power a live stream, a television appearance, there's no gauge on it anymore as to how powerful a person can become from an appearance just standing right beside somebody. And it goes beyond the levels of fame, it goes beyond the levels of money. It goes into everyday conversations. Y'all homeboys that be sitting there saying, yo, so and so was hanging out with 50 Cent, changes the whole dynamic of where the conversation goes. Put two people in a room that can only talk for an hour per week, and when I try to catch up as fast as possible, they're obviously going to pick on the hottest topic that they remember, and the hottest topic is going to eventually become you. So I think about Brianna Wu. What topics are going on in your life to which you would justify having publicly just outright gone and said these things? Where is that pour stemming from? Because if it's just, I have somebody write tweets in my name and I just copy and paste them and all of you react and I don't care about it, would be one thing. But I've seen you do media appearances after where you say the same thing. If you're acting one way in public and another way in private, who are you? Why are you still in high school? Why do you think it's impossible for other people to devote just 5 to 10 minutes to take a look at it and be like, that's strange, didn't you say that before? Why are we wrestling with these people who don't have a core understanding of the real world operates a little differently? These are not the people who get scammed online for like a Venmo from a fake profile. Sure, fine. These are the people who can be easily emotionally guilt-tripped into making so many mistakes that it eventually causes their negative mental health spiral downwards into a where are they 10 years from now video. I sparked this conversation because I wanted to talk about the destiny debate method. And as much as I would love to go into that as full as I could, I think it's better to leave that as a specific example and talk about the broader structure of conversation. The centralization of social media apps, creating when people say echo chamber, I always say to myself, that's not possible. Because none of these websites that you start with contain any select amount of people. X is used by everybody, Twitter is used by everybody, Instagram is used by everybody, Facebook is used by everybody, YouTube is used by everybody. Motherfuckers is on Daily Motion. Some people spend time on Vimeo. you're not finding a very unique internet experience unless you're looking for it. And those are those true social, Gab motherfuckers, Telegram motherfuckers, WhatsApp motherfuckers. Those are the echo chambers. Spaces specifically created for those people, which is funny because they'll do that and then say right to your face, there's no such thing as a safe space. So I think about the Destiny debate method. Every time I pronounce a view, you will throw a bunch of, you'll do the gish galap, you'll do the card says moops, you'll do the whole didoing, you'll do the whole anything coined by Innuendo Studios, you'll do the whole thing. You'll do the whole song and dance, you'll make it look pretty. You will put on like you are Roman Reigns for those 3 seconds. Nobody can pin you. And it hurts me because I can't just say out loud, everything that you have just said is not real. Like everything you have just said is, any air that comes out of my lungs to respond to you is going to be used maliciously against me. I could respond like I used to say when my dad was tweaking. Cheerios. Just start naming grocery items. Cheerios. Bread. Milk. Yogurt. Cheese. George. Cheese. Monterey. Colby. You'd be like, that motherfucker crazy. And I would sit there and say, no, what that person just said is crazy. I don't know where to go in this conversation because a normal human being who is standing right in front of my face would not say that. Nobody has yet. So when a person decides to say, oh, I think, transgenderism doesn't allow people to enter the kingdom of heaven, I'm like, dog, look at the screen. Like, this has been on there for more than a year. Almost more than 2. Why would you bring that to me? You are either willfully ignorant or you stand at a point in time where something is not allowing you to think, this is not my problem. And that's the Destiny debate method. Is what you just said is full of, but me telling you you're full of is what you'll use to say, see, they didn't answer the question. You invalidate personality when you go to talk to somebody and you talk like that. That is the opposite of, I don't really care about getting invited places. You are the kid in the corner with himself, and everybody say, yo, did that kid just himself? And you sitting there like they're all talking about me. I won. No, you didn't win. No, you didn't win. You absolutely did not win. And I don't understand how we think that these people are winning. Yeah, okay, it's the little fascist Nazi 13, 14, 15-year-olds. It's the white boys 16, 17, 18, all in Iowa and Utah and Michigan and Ohio and all them lonely-ass people who go to school, put their headphones on, listen to Hassan, listen to Destiny, listen to Fresh and Fit, listen to all that. They put it on, they talk about it with their boys. Yo, you heard what ABBA said yesterday? Yo, that man was crazy. You listen to that with no guidance, none of us in there to tell them about the old internet, no warning signs, no presentation, no fallout, nothing. So it becomes up to and I really want you to stick with this here because this is really the biggest key of the Destiny debate method. You force whoever you're talking to into a minority background. You force them into you are going to respond one way of 2 ways because all you say are buzzwords. You go with emotion, you're not backing it up with facts. Like, I really want you to think about the idea that Destiny went head to head with Norm Finkelstein, and what most people cared about was, oh my God, he owned him. Like, they're both above the age of 32. Who gives a fuck about a high school ideal? But these are the people who populate and pay for this content, who are well endowed with money and are stuck in this perpetual cycle of everybody who doesn't coddle me is wrong. The logic being presented to me, if everybody hates this person, it must be for a certain reason. Like, some people think, okay, so you've said all of this, prove it. If you want, your facts over your feelings. Okay, where did the meme, if there are no blah blah blahs if there are no fans of X, then if there are fans of X, then I am one of them. If there is only one fan of X, I am them. If there are no fans of X, I am dead. Where did that come from? Do you know? Now, you probably pause this video, go Google that. When you come back here and find out, oh, that came from, right, So you think it's weird that Taylor Swift fans are as egregious as they are over music reviews when there are people literally paid the most money, the icons who sit on Fox News and MSNBC and Progressive Victory. These are where the masses are going to get their ideas from. I don't know who the fuck a Destiny is. I thought that was a thing that people had, but you know what I do fuck with? Representative Rokana. I fuck with AOC. Who AOC talking to? Oh my god, it's that guy I've heard about before. The Destino? Destinio? Destino? Destiny. Oh, like the video game. Then they start Googling. 1 out of every 10 people Googles, finds a clip of him saying whatever. Oh my god, why is AOC talking with him? He must be more better than this. Start watching it to figure out what the fuck is going on. Before you know it, all right, I'm gonna check out one of his actual streams. Let me see what he's actually on about. You lower your guard. You start watching them. I got a Prime sub. I got a free sub. I got a couple $5 lying around. I got a nice job. I give him $5. Yo, my man Destiny, here's 50 for the month, bro. You've been hooking it up with the content. And then the radicalization happens, as we've seen in The Boys and every other project of insanity that has come out in the last 5 years. And people say, well, that's just a specific case. That's an over dramatization. Not everybody ingests this content this way. Not everybody lives throughout your thought process. Not everybody is thinking about everything as a plus zero additives here, dividends here type of situation. Nobody's thinking that hard about it. And I say to you, that's the problem. The people who are watching right now will still be on, hopefully, by God willing. And I mean all of them, even the weirdo, like pseudo Nazi people. God willing, all of them will be here in 3 years. If you hear some weird at this point, that's who those people are. They choose these moments, they pick these points in time to break down every public speaker known to man and chain you to these definitions as long as possible for you to fade into irrelevance. That's why I be holding my hands back and say, I might have disagreements with Hassan, but I know he's not a weirdo. I know if I saw him on the street and we started chopping it up, it could get real. I don't get that same vibe from XQC. I don't get that same vibe from Tommy, and I don't get those same vibes. As my chatter just said, Rokada voted in favor of condemning from the river to the sea. Like there's and oh, okay, so Destiny's gonna re-mention that somewhere down. And as you can see, the plot thickens. But regardless of that, these people will continuously chain you to these definitions. And that's why I give my respect to certain people who put their lives and stay on this platform and stay on other platforms and make content trying to talk to you in a way that says, yo, you're not going crazy. There is some weird going on. Let's bring you down to earth for 5 seconds. Try as hard as you can to return to earth. Because as technology continues to advance and proliferate itself larger and larger into your lives, there are things you will not think about anymore. I hate having the gravity of understanding life because everybody who comes on to YouTube don't want to hear something about, damn, you really alive, bro. I get that that's not as cool as a Mr. Beast video or somebody close to me. It's not as cool as a Wang video. I get what you come here for. But everything you do and everything outside of that are now merging. And that's why I decided not to spend so much time on the Destiny debate method and instead stick to this simple principle. If you are a content creator, I'm sorry, but you have a responsibility to one person, two people, three people, four people, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. If a ton of trans people come in here, and let's really hook this one in as the final thought. A bunch of trans people came into my community. The first thing they see before I even open my mouth is that flag on the other side of the screen, is that balloon. So while I may not talk about anything that any trans person would care to talk about, just at the current time, possibly, their first reaction isn't to jitter. Their first reaction isn't to ask a question about, hey, so I see you said this and that. Are Are you like, what are your opinion? Oh, we don't gotta ask. Tell me a place where you feel the same upon entering and you don't know the person. And that person is quite large. And it makes zero sense to me that this is the ruling class of conversation. This is the ruling class of how we connect with each other. Because I wasn't a part of that growing up. I don't know what it's like to live in that world. And I no longer can acknowledge nor deny, sorry, I should say, I have to, I can no longer deny and I must acknowledge that all of this is something I have to reckon with. You have to reckon with. We have to reckon with. We can't sit there anymore and say politics is boring. I want to ignore it because it's going to move past you and come back to you. And then you're going to be like, what are you guys talking about? We don't got time to explain it to you. COD, you a game streamer. I just think the LGBTQ should leave the kids alone. Excuse me? Okay, so going back to everything I just said, the Destiny debate method. So you support the murder of gay people? No, I just think they should leave the kids alone. What are they doing to the kids? You know. And thus the conversation spirals and continues and grows and spawns and evolves. And then you get a content creator like FD Signifier, weave it in that beautiful black history. You mention a name, and you goofed. It's over for you. It's over. You get the Rick Grimes treatment. Not today, not tomorrow, but nothing is gonna stop me from killing you. Nothing. You're all already dead. Because what I see is something that somehow other people don't see. And I'm looking for people who give it to like care about this. But for some reason, I remember watching Becker on television. And then I remember watching weekly cartoons, weekday afternoon cartoons when I wasn't at the boys club or I wasn't at Joe's after school center. But you know what I remember more than any of that? I remember the day they took them off television. Because for some reason I attached liking that thing with having that thing. Does that sound familiar to you? If it does, you just got your paradigm shifted.